We're back to the Total Education Celebrity Show, powered by the Beach Lifestyle Celebrity segment. TotalTutor.net for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook. And again, it's so interesting, the variety of celebrities I have on. I have athletes, I have other types of entertainers. And this show, I'm telling you, my wife and I, we would laugh our heads off at this show. And especially when thinking about specifically the age group and how they can really just crack up people. So I want to welcome the program, Reatha Grey, reality TV star of Betty White's Off Their Rockers and the NBC hit series. Reatha, thanks for calling.
Well, thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, we're excited to talk to you, and it's very interesting. I was checking out your bio and your background in the entertainment field, and you've been involved in a lot of things for a long career. So how long have you wanted to be an actress? What age did you know that, hey, this is something I want to do?
At 6 years old, I did my first play, and it was Sleeping Beauty, and I was the wicked stepmother, and I was the only person with lines, and I had a witch's laugh, a cackle. And when I did my cackle the first time, the audience burst into applause, and I said, oh, yeah, I want to do this.
So you said, this is something I enjoy. I feel like this is my passion. So from there on, did you constantly say, I want to be an actress? Is that pretty much how it was?
Oh, absolutely. I would tell people in elementary school that I was majoring in theater, which would upset my family because they were doctors and lawyers and teachers, and acting was not supposed to be on the map. But all through school, I said, oh, no, I'm majoring in theater, and I did.
And so what were they saying? You'll never make money in this. What are you doing? You should go into a career that you know that's going to be safe. That's the kind of question.
Oh, no, you get something you can fall back on. You go to school and go to medical school, and you can always fall back on being a doctor. It's like, no, I'm going to be in the entertainment industry.
And would they have imagined that basically your career stopped for a while, and then you come back and have this big success? Is an amazing thing. But let's go specifically to when your biggest break was in acting. I guess, how many years ago was it, Reatha, when your first big break in acting was?
My real big break actually came 3 years ago when I started doing Betty White's Off Their Rockers.
Interesting. So you think it just jumped that early? The other times you were just pretty much small roles till you took that time off in acting? Were you just, what would you say your roles were before that?
I did lots of small roles on things like General Hospital and Three's Company, TV movies, things like that. I did one starring role in a movie in the 70s. And then I actually went into casting for about 8 years. So I've worked consistently in the entertainment industry, but my big break came after I was 60 years old.
Oh, wow. And you really stayed the course in a lot of ways, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I tell people my saying is, it's never too late, you're never too old. So if you have a dream, just keep working towards it. You never know. It can always come true.
So all those times you had to go for casting calls and go through that whole process, a reality television show is what was your big break. Is that a surprise to you if someone would have told you that when you first broke in?
It absolutely would have been. Years ago, I used to do casting for Unsolved Mysteries, which was one of the very first reality-type shows. And I was concerned because they were using people who were not professional actors as actors on the show. And I went to the Screen Actors Guild, and I said, they're doing this thing, and I think this is going to catch on. And the president of the Screen Actors Guild at the time told me, oh, no, the public will never prefer unprofessionals to professionals. Well, fast forward 30 years later, And the networks are littered with reality shows.
Would you say that basically the public's pulling for this, or do you think ultimately in a lot of ways it's cheaper for the production companies to bring reality people in? What do you think?
It's absolutely cheaper to do a reality show. There's no doubt about it. But the reality, the reality is if nobody's watching it, the TV is not going to play it.
So they see the success and they say, well, what are we going to do? Having to go pilot season, come up with this pilot, or are we going to go with something that we know, hey, this is going to really cause craziness? And look at TV now, Reatha. It's so much different. And what people consider stars in this day and age.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And reality stars, not my particular show, but reality shows are getting paid. Stars are getting paid millions of dollars per episode. So, somebody's watching it, because TV does not do television just for pleasure. It's a business. People forget the business and show business, and that's really what it's about. So they're making money. And speaking of which, our show was not picked up by NBC. But the good news is Lifetime Channel just picked us up for 20 new episodes.
Oh, great. Congratulations. Very interesting. I guess you had the success, and yet still, again, how these companies come up with these ideas, it's ridiculous for sure. But let's go, Reatha, into the dream, how it happened, how you got involved with Betty White. Tell us the story, how you got involved in this off their rockers. What happened?
I actually went through the regular audition process. I showed up in an audition, and it felt like they literally interviewed everybody over 50 years old in Los Angeles. The day I went, there were, I don't know how many people filling several rooms of an audition hall, and they auditioned for several days or weeks. And we went through about 3 or 4 different auditions, and then we went before the network, all the executives, and Betty White herself was actually there. And we did our audition, and I was blessed enough to become one of the series regulars.
Wow. And when that happened, it must have been so real. The first time you filmed and then it finally aired, and everyone started recognizing you all over L.A.?
Well, yes, and that's funny, too, because you don't know what it's like to be recognized until it actually happens to you. And literally, there have been times when I've been in a shopping mall that I've been in for years and years and years, and I'm coming down the escalator, and I hear squealing at the bottom of the escalator, just go, ah, ah. And I'm looking around trying to figure out what's going on, and I get to the bottom of the escalator, and people run up to me and say, "Can we get your autograph? Can I take a picture with you?" And it's like, oh.
And it's amazing. You said all those years of the hard work, and something like this happens. And again, also, I understand when I was looking at your background, you got involved in comedy, and that helped a lot in the process of being chosen, right?
Well, people have always said I was funny, so I've just been a natural comedian all my life. I've done some stand-up, and that's always enjoyable, too.
In the process, once you got chosen and you started filming in a lot of ways, your creative control involvement, Betty's very, very involved in this, the producers and stuff like that. But how did you become really well known on the show? Because there was more people than just yourself that was chosen to be on this show, right?
Well, actually, we started off with a cast of 14 for the first season. That, during the season, kind of narrowed down a little bit. The second season, there were 5 of us taken out of the original 14, and 2 people were added. And for the third season, there are going to be 6 of us, and I'm fortunate enough to be one of the 6. And I think it's a matter of, I understand the principle of the show. It's not really for us to be funny. It's for us to do pranks and really be the straight guy, which is harder than being the funny man. Anybody can do the prank fall. It's harder to be the straight man. And so I kind of got it from the beginning that the real stars of the show are the people that we pull the pranks on. So I just kind of do what I'm supposed to do and then kind of stand back and watch them.
It's amazing. It's amazing to kind of have that role and people laugh. It just reminds me when I watch the show, Candid Camera meets, I guess, I can't say this on TV, you know, the one show where everyone felt like crazy, that type of thing, where it would go to real Candid Camera type humor to really, I guess this day and age humor. So you really, you towed the line in certain things. And yet also at other times you went a little further. And it was just so hilarious because of the age of the people who were leading the pranks, for sure.
Exactly. And one of the things that Betty White insists upon is that we are not mean-spirited. There are a lot of prank shows on the air nowadays, and a lot of them are very mean-spirited. They do cruel things to one another. Our show is not mean-spirited. Now, we do get a little edgy sometimes.
Right.
My character tends to pick up men that are about a third my age. I guess that's a little edgy. But we try to never be mean-spirited in anything that we do or hurtful. And like you said, the modern humor sometimes isn't too nice, you know?
It's not, but you guys will at least go a little bit to that. But yeah, it's not like Candid Camera, which was straight-laced in certain aspects. So that's where I was kind of coming up with that,
exactly.
that similarity to the show. And then honestly, every prank was hilarious because could you imagine, especially if you were my age, going out there and seeing this happening and you're doing this and saying, what's going on here? Am I really watching this? Is this really happening? And it also
the funniest thing about it is my character on the show, and I played lots of different types of character, but most of them are outrageous. That's not really that far from my real life. And the funny thing is, all of us have said that since we've been working on the show, we have gotten more outrageous in real life.
Well, you never know on all these things. It's a surprise for sure how outrageous you guys get and the kind of pranks and how these producers or writers come up with this stuff. It's hilarious, isn't it? How they come up with it.
It really is, and it really is dependent on the people that we're talking to. And one of the things that other actors say to me is, I don't see how you could just walk up to a stranger and do that. And they really are absolute strangers. We just pick people randomly as they walk by. And that's one of the things that I think caused the ones of us that got called back to be called back, because we are fearless. We will walk up to anybody and say pretty much anything.
All right, we're talking to Reatha Grey, again, the star of NBC's hit series, Betty White's Off Their Rockers, going to their third season. I know she's really excited about the opportunities going to the new network. And when we get back, we're going to go a little bit more into the honor of you now as an award-winning person as well. So you really, at age 60, have changed the way people look at 60-year-olds in acting and where you're going from here, and also your product lunch. You're listening to the Total Education Celebrity Show, powered by the Beach Lifestyle Celebrity segment, and we'll be back in just a moment. We're back to the Total Education Celebrity Show on the Total Education Network, TotalTutor.net for more information, Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, and we're with Reatha Grey, celebrity star of the hit series Betty White's Off Their Rockers. Again, the reality television show that's really reality in so many ways and not as, I guess, fixed because, again, the people that are the pranks that are taking the pranks, you're not telling them anything about it, right? It's just like you just show up because then they wouldn't laugh really, or they wouldn't react if they knew it was really a staged deal, right?
Absolutely. They have no idea. We just pick random people. We act like we're helpless most of the time, so they're willing to help us or talk to us or interact with us. And then we kind of go south on them. It's like, what?
What would you say your favorite prank was on the show? Do you have a favorite?
I have so many favorites. One of my cleaner favorite ones is when I go up to a young man and I ask him to sign a petition, and it's against identity theft, and I just want him to give me his name, his phone number, his Social Security number, his ATM password, and he's like, what? No, I can't give you that. And he's trying to be nice and kind. He's like, my grandmother always told me to be nice to, and then he didn't want to say older people. He was afraid to offend me. And then finally I said, well, you're not cooperating, so obviously you are part of the problem and not the solution. And he was just devastated.
Oh my gosh, it's so unbelievable. And then you got nominated and also and earned an award too. That must be really an honor from the show, correct?
Yeah, it's an organization called Entrepreneurs on the Move, and I was awarded the Outstanding Reality Star for 20. Actually, it was for 2012, but I received it in 2013. And it was really an honor because after all of my years of being in entertainment, to receive an award now is just really a blessing.
And to have a successful show like this is also, I'm sure, a tremendous blessing. And that's led to certain situations where now you're becoming a brand, where you're used to just having the little, small roles. Now you're recognized by people. So I understand you have a product now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, I'm a brand representative for a new product called Miriam AD. It's a wonderful night cream. I've only been using it for about a month myself, and it's a face cream, skin cream, and it's amazing. I'm concerned that when I go back to work on the on the new season, they're going to tell me I look too young. It's amazing what it does with your skin. And I'm really excited about it. It helps with sagging skin, with wrinkles. And I know lots of products say that they do that, but this product is amazing. There's a money-back guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, you just send it back. No questions asked. But I don't know anyone that hasn't seen improvement in their skin in 2 weeks. I mean, if you're a baby, I guess it wouldn't work for you, but for any adult, just amazing results with your skin. And you can check it out. You can go to a website. It's www.Reatha Grey, ReathaGrey.Miriam, NERIUM.com. And it's awesome. All I can say is I hope that they don't make me age for the show because I look too young now. And
so you've been blown away by it and been telling your friends, and it must be really exciting to be helping launch this product for them. Or it must be exciting to be a spokesperson, isn't it?
It really is, because I've never seen a product that works so well doing what it says it's going to do. My biggest problem was age spots. And my age spots are clearing up. I mean, literally, it's been a month, and my age spots are almost gone. I've never had anything work that well.
Which makes you excited. Are you looking to promote anything else right now? Do you have any other stuff going on for yourself?
Well, I'm actually producing a documentary right now called The Healthcare Puzzle. We're in production, and it's about the current healthcare situation in America. We're not taking a position on whether it's right or wrong or taking part of any of the argument. It's just a documentary talking about what the healthcare crisis or what the healthcare situation is, not even looking at it from a crisis point of view. Mm-hmm. How the Affordable Care Act will benefit people, what things are going on in healthcare, things like getting your healthcare records. People don't think about it, but everyone should have a copy of their own healthcare records because, believe it or not, they make mistakes on your healthcare records. And if you don't see them, you can't correct them. So there's all kinds of issues going on with healthcare. So I'm working on that documentary. And so far we've shot in Washington, D.C., and we plan to shoot in L.A. and possibly New York. So I'm working on that. So it's my actual first time being a producer.
And that must be interesting because, again, this is going to be very, very successful because everyone has healthcare questions, honestly. And I've had a show on. I've done a segment for a show regarding this, just specifically what will change with the Affordable Care Act. But yet, not taking a side on this, especially when we're seeing what happened to our government in the last couple of times, but really to really educate people on the importance of like having your health care records, as you said, understanding what your rights are, how to do it. So part of the documentaries are going to be in the process of how to sign up for the...
Absolutely. How to sign up. Each state is different, and having a discussion on finding out what is going on in your state, because each state actually is different in their processing. The national phone numbers, there are so many facets to healthcare that we just need to have some basic information about. And I tell everyone, you are your own best advocate.
Yes.
Doctors went to school, but you know your body better than any other doctor. And at one point, I had a health issue, and I went into the hospital, and they couldn't find anything wrong. And I said, well, I'm not leaving till you do. Because there's something not right. And as it turned out, 24 hours later, they rushed me into surgery. And they said, yep, you were right. I had an artery that was blocked.
Oh, wow. We got to always speak up because, again, my wife was concerned about my daughter and considered maybe and I thought she was overreacting. Oh, maybe she has leukemia. She didn't, thank God, have leukemia, but we went through the testing and she ended up with 8 ITP, which is a low blood platelet count. Good announcement for our listeners out there. It's up to 92 now. She needs to be about 150, but she was all the way down to 12. So, again, so it's a very, very strange chronic disease that hopefully it's not going to be continuing. But we understand. If we wouldn't have spoke up, the doctors are looking like, she'll be fine. Just have her come in on Monday. So you're right. We have to be our own advocate in certain ways, in certain aspects. And through this process of this documentary, are you going to take a step by step in the process, like you said about signing up, also knowing your rights in the states? I think it's important for us to know that one state might be different than another state, and you can't listen to the media when it comes to this, right? You really have to do your own research.
Absolutely, because they're painting a broad picture of what's going on. But your state might have lots of exchanges and lots of opportunities. Other states, like California, is going through like one major exchange, which will involve other smaller exchanges in places where you can sign up. But you have to know what's going on in your state.
And who came to you with this? Is this something that's a passion of your own to come up with this, to do this, or was it a certain case that happened, or are you just passionate about this cause? I mean, this.
Well, actually, it's a company called MedCash Solutions Inc., and they are a company who is just a socially conscious company. And so they deal with healthcare solutions. And one of the solutions they came up with was a documentary regarding healthcare and the entire Affordable Care Act and people's health in general. And they wanted to just get the word out as one of their solutions to healthcare issues. So I happen to know Frank Harrison, who is the president of the company, and we were talking, and I got involved in producing the documentary.
Wow. You know what? It's amazing how one big opportunity leads to the next opportunity, which leads to the next opportunity. Where do you see when you're going to retire in your career? Or is 60 and over, I'm going to go on till Betty White's age? Is that your whole ultimate goal?
Betty White is currently 91 years old. She is shooting 2 television series at the same time.
Oh, my God.
She is doing all the promotions for both shows. She has all of her charities. She makes personal appearances. She was on The Tonight Show a couple of weeks ago. She does everything at 91. My grandmother worked up until maybe 4 days before she died, and she lived to be 99. So I'm looking at those ladies as my goal, you know?
Well, I'm gonna definitely pray for you and ultimately look at your career, and I know that it's going to go up and up because you're so motivated. Some people shut down at 60. You just keep going. So where can our listeners find information on you, on your different projects? Again, the skin care line and also the documentary, and learn more about you. And again, to watch you when the new show debuts on a new station. So where can we find info?
Well, I try to keep it simple. So most of my things are Reatha Grey, ReathaGrey. So it's ReathaGrey.com, ReathaGrey.info, Reatha Grey on Facebook, at Reatha Grey on Twitter. I'm easy to catch up with.
Well, I'm going to be tweeting out the link to the show, every syndicated station that this interview airs on. Hope to have you back on when the documentary comes out, so we can talk about it further, really get into more detail about what you're doing, because I really am interested in learning more about it, and I know my listeners are as well. So you're a sweetheart. Thanks for coming on the show and telling us about all the cool things you're doing, and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. It's been great being on the show, and I'm glad to hear about your daughter's platelet count going up, and that's an area that I may have to look into about putting into the documentary.
Oh, well, that'd be great. And if you need any search on ITP, it's very interesting. And my daughter was only 2. She just turned 3 today. It's her birthday. So thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate that. That'll make her feel good as well.
What's your name?
Annika. Her name is Annika.
Well, happy birthday, Annika.
Oh, I'll have to play that for her. Thanks again for calling, and we'll stay in touch, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye. You're listening to Told
Bye-bye.
Education, Celebrity Show on the Told Education Network, and we'll be back in just a moment.